Hey everybody, Mike Uncle Bach here with Mike and Marisa's YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about intermittent fasting. We will talk a lot about all the different kinds of fasting, but today we're going to focus on intermittent fasting. So you've probably heard about it. You've probably got a ton of misconceptions. So let's just start at the beginning. The number one thing I get when I talk to people that I coach about fasting, number one thing is I can't go without eating. I'll starve, I'll fall over dead, I'll get dizzy, I'll pass out, my tummy will hurt. I'm used to eating 5 meals a day. What the heck do I do? Well, for starters, you won't starve. I promise you that. And we'll ease you into it in a way that makes it simple for you. But first, let me comfort you. The average American has over 100,000 calories stored on their person. 100,000. So if you're burning 2,000 calories a month, 100,000 calories would give you roughly 50 days before you had an energy problem. So you're not going to starve. You're just not. So how do we get past that feeling of, oh my God, I can't go without eating? Well, here's what we do. So tonight, eat your last meal between 6 and 7. Try to eat before 7 o'clock. And after that, here's what you can have. Water. Should all drink more water. Coffee. Black preferred. If you need to do something to it, put a little bit of butter in it, but learn to drink black coffee. So I actually have a cup of coffee here. Oh, by the way, I'm fasting right now, so the water and the coffee are okay. And the other thing would be unsweet tea, like green tea. I do a lot of peppermint tea when I'm fasting. I love, if I went back up into the cabinet right there, got a whole thing of Keurig to go in my K-Cups peppermint tea. Peppermint's awesome when you're fasting. You just don't want it to have more than about 10, 15 calories. And I'm not a calorie Nazi. Some people, say, hey, if you got anything, you've broken your fast. I don't believe that. Vonner Longo did a thing called Prolon, fasting mimicking, where you're doing 1,100 to 500 calories a day, and you get about 70 or 80% of the benefits that you get in a strict water-only fast. So, we're not going to be, just an absolute, by God, my way or the highway, because that doesn't work for people. So we're going to eat our last meal at 7. If you need to drink a bunch of water between now and bed, that'd be great. Okay, and then we're going to go to bed. So if we eat at 7 and we got up at 7 o'clock the next morning, that's 12 hours right there. We've gone without eating. And if we just skip breakfast that day, have your cup of black coffee, and you could make it till 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning when you had your first snack, you went from 12 hours, remember 7 to 7. You went from 7 to 10. Now we're at 15. Now we've gone 15 hours without putting any substantial food in our belly. So here's what happens when you do that. The body goes, oh my God, Mike's not going to eat. What do we do? Well, the process that it wades off into is called autophagy. Some people call it autophagy. A brilliant Japanese scientist in 2017 won a Nobel Prize for figuring out the mechanisms. We've known about autophagy for maybe 50 years, but we didn't really know the mechanisms of autophagy. And so by putting your body into autophagy or autophagy, if you hear either one of those, either one's acceptable and okay, here's what that word translates into. Eat thyself. So the body goes into scavenge mode, for lack of a better term. So you're not putting food in. So the body starts looking for things it can break down into simple proteins and sugars so that you can continue to operate. And it will look at amazing things to do that. It will break down inefficient, underperforming, damaged cells and start to use those for food. It'll look harder for things like viruses, pathogens, parasites that it can attack, break down, and use for food. The problem we have as America right now is we have so much food. We eat so often, and this is the only sciencey part of this video. We keep our body in a state that's called mTOR, which is feast state. In feast state, your body's building things, building things, building things, building things, building things. Well, just imagine you're working on a 30-story skyscraper and all you do is build, 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 and nobody ever hauls off any of the trash. How long would it be before the building process comes to a screeching halt? Wouldn't be very many days, right? The workers would be working over their trash all around the ground. It would just be a giant trash pile with all the pieces of wood and metal and drywall and all the pieces that need to be hauled away. Well, that's what autophagy is. It's taking out the garbage. And you need to alternate some of the time in mTOR, some of the time in autophagy. And the fastest way for me to get you into autophagy is to restrict calories. And intermittent fasting is the easiest path to do that. Could you do a multi-day fast? I'm on day 2 right now. I'm only going to do 2 days this time. I'll break my fast at dinner tonight, but then I'll go right back into an intermittent fast anyhow. 2-day water only, but I'm not encouraging you to do that with this. Could you learn to do it? Yeah, but intermittent fasting is the easiest way for you to learn and get comfortable with the fact that you can go 12 hours, you can go 10 hours, you can go 15, 17 hours without eating. So we're going to eat our last meal at 7. We're going to make it to 7 o'clock in the morning. We're going to have our cup of coffee, glass of tea, maybe a cup of peppermint tea, whatever. And we're going to see if we can make it to lunch. If you get the lunch and you're not really struggling, okay, blow through lunch, have another glass of tea, a couple bottles of water, and go to dinner. If you do that, do you realize you just did 24 hours and you said you were going to fall over? You're not going to fall over. Listen, if it gets difficult, if it's just painful, if you think you're dizzy and going to pass out, you can eat something, carry something in your pocket to eat. If, though, you're on medications, you're diabetic, always wise to consult your healthcare provider, your physician, whoever you go to make sure, or let them know that you're going to test out this fasting thing and see if they've got any recommendations or things they would recommend that you do or don't do. And also, do your own homework. If you're looking for a book to read, I'll recommend this again. I recommend this guy's book all the time, Dr. Fung, Complete Guide to Fasting. We'll put a link to that on here. Great place to start. There are other books, but his book is balanced and fair, and it gives you a complete guide. He's a medical doctor, so great place to start. So how many days a week do I intermittent fast? How do I do this? Well, let's make this real complicated. Let's start with 1. Let's see if we can get 1 day in this week. If you find out it's not too bad, maybe you do 2. Then maybe you get to 3. Maybe you do that every other day. Maybe you do it for a week and then off for a week. Whatever works for you. There are no hard, fast, written rules for fasting, pun intended. Do what you're comfortable with. Do what feels right for you. I vacillate back and forth between intermittent fasting, multi-day fasting, water only, coffee, water, tea, other teas, just calorie restricted, where I will let myself have 300, 400, 500 calories a day. They all work, and they all work for me. I've got tons of friends who have fasted their way now out of 30, 40, 50 pounds, people I've coached. I've got lots of people I know that have fasted in front of chemotherapy and other treatments because they work better in a fasted state. Your body will reward you for going periods of time without calories. It will reward you. It will thank you. It will take out the garbage. You'll feel better. Your quality of life will be longer. The length of your life will be longer. The studies, I mean, you can go out there, go to PubMed and start searching fasting. There's more than you can read in your lifetime. And it's just irrefutable that our body requires this autophagy phase to take out the garbage. And if you don't do that, it's like that 30-story building I talked about where the garbage in your body just piles up, piles up, piles up, piles up. And at some point, you're going to have a breakdown. Your body will get your attention, something will happen, and you will be forced to take out the garbage. You'll either do it voluntarily or your body will make you do it. What you hope is that when it comes time to make you do it, that it's not a catastrophic event. But the way you find out you haven't been taking out the garbage is you get told you have cancer, or you have a heart attack, or now you're diabetic, or something worse. Most people, that's not the first sign. You know, it's weight gain, it's no energy, it's I hurt all the time, it's I get headaches. But some people aren't that lucky. Some people have a catastrophic event. That's how they find out they have a heart problem, is they die from their first heart attack. 50% of the people in America don't make it past the first one. You might want to take out the garbage. Autophagy is your friend, and you can get there through intermittent fasting. We'll come back and we'll talk more. We'll talk about the other kinds of fasting. I'm working on a little ebook on fasting so I can put in 15 or 20 pages and give you guys all the tools that you need. So many blessings. Have a wonderful day. We'll be back and talk some more about fasting real soon. Bye-bye.